So morning, everyone. If we got more listeners, my colleague will let them in, so don't worry. And really, thanks for your time to join today's seminar. I'm Harry from the Hikrobot 2D Vision pre-sale team. And today I'd like to share some information about our latest 2D Vision product, the new CT series camera. And it can also be called like the third generation industrial camera. Since some of you maybe know, we have already have CS series product and CU series cameras and CH series cameras. And CT series camera is like a latest update for our previous product for CS series and CU series. Let's go next page. So, and today's seminar will not take up too much of your time. So I will introduce the detailed information about the CT series camera in the following three parts, as you can see over here. The first part is about the background overview. It's about why we developed the CT series camera and how CT series camera solve the customers' key problems. The second part will introduce some core technology about like some hardware optimization, the highlights about the new camera, and like how you introduce the camera to your customer. And besides the hardware upgrades, we have also implemented some new algorithm with the software features in the CT series camera, and will be introduced in the third, is also the last section. So the first part will be the background overview. And some of the customers are curious about like why we need to develop the CT series camera. So we have collected a lot of feedback from the customer all over the world. And the most four important points I concluded over here. The first one is the normal industrial camera require a long time to reach its like thermal balance for like 30 or 40 minutes, because the normal industrial camera relies on the housing for heat dissipation, and there's no fan or TEC cooling for it. So it will take a long time to make the image more stable, and will significantly reducing the production efficiency. Another key point is that the manual focusing, like you need to use the FA lens, is very costly and time consuming. When changing the testing objects, the traditional manual focusing will need a lot of people, like labor cost, but also reduce the product efficiency. The customer need to stop the production line. And it requires, the customer are requiring or cost-effective and automated focusing solution like a liquid lens. So another point is that the insufficient color reproduction. The normal color camera only provides like bare image. So if you want to use RGB image, it will reduce the frame rate or the line rate. And the camera only produce the raw image. The customer also want to do like a color reproduction. They need to use they need to use own algorithm. But we have implemented some new algorithm for the CT series camera. Like there's a new multi-spectral sensor in front of the camera, and it will automatically detect the light change. And I will give a detailed introduction in the next slide. And the color reproduction of industrial cameras always differ from the human eye. And the last point is the most attractive point, I think. A lot of customers are asking, do you have like IP67 or higher protection level camera? So for CT series, it can now adapt to really harsh environment, which requiring high protection level and a convenient control. We provide like lens cover and integrated lens and light source together, which will allow the customer to do flexible control and parameter adjustment. And here's the layout of the CT series third generation industrial camera. Based on the background, Hikrobot has developed and launched the third generation industrial camera to provide users with better price and experience. So there are 4 product versions: the mini version, the base version, the pro version, and the max version. So for now, the base and the pro version has already been launched, and you can ask for a long test or like recommended it to your customer to buy it for test. And the max version, the camera is already ready, but the for the integrated lens and the cover, we need to do some like size expansion. So for the interface, the Gigi version is already launched. So, and for this page, as you can see, here are some like bodied fonts, which are the attractive features I want to highlight for you all. The first is the standby mode, which means if you enable this function, the camera will enter the standby mode to reduce some power consumption. We have met some customers, like they want to start their production line for a while or evening, but they cannot power off the camera or their PC. So which means they are requiring like a standby mode for the camera to reduce some power consumption. When they need to use the camera again, they can enable the camera and do the acquisition again. So this provided the customer some options. And the second one is, like I mentioned before, is the rapid thermal equilibrium. This will make the camera available to get the thermal balance within like 4 minutes, which will provide a more stable camera image. And the third one is the multispectral fusion. There's the automatic multispectral sensor in front of the camera. It will detect the ambient light change. It will do automatic color calibration. And I will also give you some detailed introduction in the following slides. So the integrated control, as you can see, that's only available with the max version. This means the max version will provide the customer with the integrated light source and the lens for the rapid deployment. The high protection level is available for Pro version and the Max version. It will provide IP67 protection level, and for the base version, it's like a general industrial camera, it's IP40. And for the image rotation, some of the customer may think this is like a very normal function. The camera can be mounted with different angle or different position, but this is also a key point that we get feedback from the customer. Because of like some limited space, they cannot change the interface. So we provide the image rotation within the camera. You can change the image size, image rotation with 0 and 90 degree, 180 and 270. The image compression mode is also like a really important upgrade for the CT series camera. HB means the lossless compression for the camera. It will reduce the bandwidth or improve its frame rate. For CS series camera, this is only available with the Pro version, but for CT series camera, it's already being used with the Pro and Max version. And the JPEG compression is like a new technology for the camera. It will do the compression for the camera image with a JPEG format. It will directly be outputted, and the camera can use the JPEG format image to do some like a surveillance or some visual inspection. So, and here are also other functions in this table. So just to take a quick look, and we can go on for the next slide. So if you have any questions, you can text in the text box or open your microphone and ask me directly. So no worry. And here's only one point that I want to pay attention is about the sensor mode. For the CT series camera, for the launched cameras, we use the sensor with our self-developed stock the BSI sensor. It will provide two sensor mode, which is 4-well capacity, and another one is the high sensitivity. With the high 4-well capacity mode, it will provide better image quality, more details, and with the high sensitivity mode, it will provide like brighter image. So for different applications for the customers, you can choose the different sensor mode. Here's the CT series camera appearance. The digital I/O for base, probe, and max version are the same. That's 8-pin M8 A-code waterproof aviation connector. But for the data interface, it differs. So for the base version, this is a normal RJ45 interface. And for the Pro and the Max version, it's an 8-pin M12 X-code waterproof aviation connector. So from the name, maybe you think they are the same. That's all 8-pin. But all connectors differ in shape and size. As you can see, I put image over here. I'll show you, sorry. So from the top is the 8-pin M12 A code. And in the middle, that's 8-pin M12 X code. And at the bottom is 8-pin M8 A code. The 8-pin is like it can provide 8-pin definition, and the M means that it's diameter. So 12, the diameter is 1.2 centimeter. The 8 is 80 micrometer, millimeter, sorry. And the IP67 protection level needs to under proper lens and lens cap installation and wiring, which means you need to like use a waterproof wire or cable. And the second part is about the core technology upgrades. And now you should have like a general understanding of the CT series camera, like its appearance and why we need to develop it. And so we can continue with the like some highlights of the camera. Here's the function I mentioned before for the device standby mode. For the CT series camera, you can directly see the data we tested over here. The standby mode will provide like a lower power consumption to 0.9 watts. And with its like normal working mode, it will be 1.5 watts. And for the same sensor, like 5 megapixel, with the Sony sensor, it will be like 3.2 watts and 2.6 watts before. So it has been reduced for a lot. And there's one thing you need to pay attention. If the cameras are with the standby mode on, the camera will stop acquisition, but will still support like a parameter setting, but it will not output image. So here's about the device standby mode. And the second one is the multispectral fusion. I put a picture over here. You can see here's the multispectral sensor in front of the camera. And it will detect the ambient light change, like the color temperature or the color change, and it will automatically change the, here's a video. So yeah, you can see the ambient light change, and the camera will automatically change its parameter to adapt to the environment. So this function will not only change like the AWB, auto white balance parameter, and it will also change like some gamma function. You only need to do one click. The correction will be automatically finished. And the third one is about the rapid thermal equilibrium. And like I said before, it has reduced like 90% of the balance time. Yeah. So for some high precision measurement applications, like we have encountered with a lot of customers who's doing like a semiconductor industry, when they deploy the camera, they require a really fast time to get the camera very stable, because you know with the heat increase, it will bring a lot of like a thermal noise. So this is not tolerated by the customer. So we use this way to like heat the camera inside to get its to get its thermal balance in a fastest way. So if the ambient light changes, the camera's internal system will synchronously adjust, which will effectively resolving like a brightness variations and pixel offset difference caused by the temperature influence. And here's the IP67 protection level. This is the most attractive points that we have a lot of customer inquiries. So for certain outdoor applications, the camera with IP67 rated design, it will offering water and dust resistance. And this is only available with the Pro and Max version. And you need extra lens cover in front of the camera. And you need to place like separate order for the protective cover based on different lens size and heights. I have a lens cover with my side. As you can see, it consists of two parts. One is the base part and one is the cover. Because we have like filter slide in front of the base. This is for connect the base to the camera. And after you install the lens in with the camera, you can connect the cover. It's very easy for installation. And there's the one thing that I want to say is that the IP67 doesn't not mean it will support like totally waterproof. Generally, it only supports like running for 30 minutes at a depth of 1 meter on the water. So the last part, I want to introduce some of the software feature introduction. This one is mostly about the algorithm upgrade with the CT series camera. The first is the ISP function, which means the contrast. We have added the contrast algorithm with all the CT series camera. You can change the contrast ratio. This will change the contrast intensity, and the higher value indicates greater contrast. This will adjust the intensity of light and dark areas in your image, as well as like some color contrast in the image. So however, the higher contrast isn't always mean like you can get a better image result. It may cause glare, image distortion, and unnatural transitions at the same time. So this value, we recommend you to change it with your real test. This parameters is often used in like some error detection for printed materials and similar tasks. And then we have some comparison images over here. From the left to right, the contrast ratio increased gradually from 0 to 100. The higher the contrast ratio, the more pronounced the difference between light and dark areas. Just like the algorithm you have with your smartphone, you can change the image effects. But this will not influence the frame rate for the CT series camera. So the second is about the local contrast enhancement. I'd prefer to call it like a LCE adjustment. This will ensure the camera to do some like a bright and dark change. It can adaptively for the contrast in dark areas of the camera image, enhancing brightness in dark areas while minimizing changes in bright areas. This means It will ensure that fine details in shadowed region are preserved without causing overexposure in highlights area. So this is typically used in chip labeling and serial number identification and PCB solder joint inspection and some other similar applications. This function will enhance the clarity of the image detail. We also have some comparison of the images over here. This function is a little bit different with the gamma function. You can see from these three images, the LCE will adaptively select the appropriate curve because it has like several curves inside of the camera. Based on your application scenario, it will delivering overall image effects superior to gamma. The noise is also like a important upgrade for the CT's camera, because like I mentioned before, the with the heat increase, it will bring like some thermal noise to the camera, and some of the customers traditionally like to develop their own algorithm for the denoise. But now with the CT series camera, that's all like equipped or embedded. The noisy reduction function can smooth out the image noise, increasing the signal to noise ratio and further enhancing the image quality. For some certain applications, like the customer needs to use the camera with really high gain, and the noise will be much higher. You can set the denoise parameter to smooth out the noise, and it will lower the standard deviation of the image. And here's the multispectral correction. So this is the function I mentioned before for the multispectral fusion. This will automatically detect the ambient light change, and this is based on multispectral fusion technology. So this one can provide you one-click camera color adjustment. This function will change the parameter like white balance, the color correction matrix, the super color palette, and the gamma. And for the image compression, the first one I want to say is about the lossless compression. This is the HB mode, the high bandwidth mode developed by the Hikrobot ourselves. This one can provide you two modes. The first one is the compression, and another one is the burst. The compression will only compress the image data without increasing the frame rate. Like I have a 5-megapixel camera, the frame rate will be 30 frames per second. For the GigE camera, the normal bandwidth will be 1 gigabits or 900 megabits. So with the compression mode, it will maintain like 30 frames per second, but the bandwidth will be compressed to about 400 megabits or 500 megabits, like half of the normal GigE bandwidth. So for the burst mode, it will remain the same bandwidth, but will increase the frame rate, like from 30 frames per second to 45 or 50 frames per second, but the bandwidth will be still 1 gigabits. The JPEG compression is like a lossy compression. It will lose some detail of the image. You can set the compression quality from 1 to 99. The 99 means it will preserve most of the image details. And with 1, it will compress the whole details of the image. Enable JPEG compression can increase the frame rate. This is commonly used in applications which require real-time video transmission. The customer does not care too much about the image quality. They only want to reduce the the bandwidth, get the image for their visual inspection. And here's some resulting frame rate and reference frame rate with different pixel formats we tested with our 3.2 megapixel camera with normal frame rate, as you can see, with different image format. It will be like 36, sorry, and 18, 24, and which the HB burst mode, the frame rate will be improved from 36 to 90 frame per second. And with JPEG function, because JPEG algorithm only support 1UV42 image format and mono 8 format. You can see the original frame rate is 18. With JPEG compression, it will be improved to 38 frame per second. And for the mono 8, the frame rate is from like 36 to 105. Here's the compression effect comparison. For the JPEG compression, you can see the image size. I changed the image quality from 90 to 30, which means the image size will be much smaller and the details will lose a lot. The image size is from 352 to 45. So here's some test results I want to show you. Maybe you can have a general understanding like how we compress the image. And if I set a different value of the compression quality, what result I can get. And here's an interesting function I like to introduce to you guys at last, is the acquisition burst mode. Some of the customers talked with us like the camera can only achieve like 30 frame per second, but they want to increase the frame rate for a short time. So with this flow chart will be much clear. Its core principle involves like overbandwidth image acquisition. It will catching the image in the camera DDR flash memory and then transmit the data according to the bandwidth. So like we have a production line over here, and it will take 10 frames for each object. For the standard mode, like 30 frame per second, the PCB stops for 300 microseconds. But with the high-speed acquisition burst mode, the frame rate has been improved. So we need to take 10 frames. It only will need like 100 microseconds. And then the object move for 300 microseconds, take another 10 frames. So the cycle time, originally it's about 300 microseconds and 300 microseconds movement. So totally it will be 1600 microseconds. But with the high-speed mode, it will be reduced to about 100 microseconds plus 300 microseconds. It will be 400 microseconds. So this will reduce a lot of the cycle time for the customer's inspection. And that's all the content I like to share with you guys. And if you have any questions about the functions I mentioned, I will answer you one by one.